Hello sports fans and welcome back to the Sports Report. This week we are in Barcelona. I'm going to stop saying it like that because it's a bit cringe. Barcelona race. Could have been an email, to be honest, guys. That was exciting but boring, which is words that come out of my mouth really frequently. Let's start at the beginning, like most things do. First thing to mention is the Knicks won the NBA. I don't go for the Knicks, I go for the Celtics. So there's that. This was a monumental race for many. And you know what they say, the sun never sets on the British Empire. Just when you turn the corner and you think, there's not going to be any British people here, there always is. And they're always doing some fuck shit as well. So never forget. Hashtag convict. This was Fernando Sorry. This was Fernando Alonso's home race. It kicked off with him saying that he was retiring, that this would be his last time racing at Barcelona. And if you didn't know, Formula One have decided to make the worst decision they could have ever made, which is switching Barcelona and Spa to be like switching out every year, which I'm not a fan of. I love Spa. Spa is my favorite track of all time. So what the fuck do you mean you're taking it away from me and switching it out with Barcelona every second year? That's not very nice. So anyway, he did lie, and then he got up on the fan stage after and was like, yeah, guys, I lied. Lol. Sometimes his exact words were like, sometimes you just gotta lie to journalists. Hey, don't say that. Don't say that. So my running theory is that Aston Martin have given up all of their money that they could have possibly spent on PR and just given it to Adrian Newey to try and please get the car to stop vibrating. And I guess it's worked because Fernando has been given permission to stop saying PR things and start just fucking around. So yeah, that's great for him. This was the first race where we had a lot of drivers out during FP1, replaced with the rookies. I'll put up a list of exactly who was out and who replaced them because, to be honest, I don't give a shit. I just know that Leonardo Fornaroli was in Lando Norris's McLaren and he was running with the driver number 67. Yep. So that's great. His helmet looked suspiciously like Oscar Piastri's. I don't know whether that was done on purpose, but that's something. It was also the 24 hours of Le Mans this weekend, and shout out to Dorian. We love our girl Dorian. Meaning that most of the commentators were away, and we were stuck with the fucking F1 TV guy, and he's the like, in 2017, Charles Leclerc lost his father. He's that guy, and I just find he is suffering from success a little bit. He's constantly trying to make his commentary just sounds like he's trying super hard like that, and I don't like that. And then of course we had Martin Brundle, more like Martin Fumble.
You can see Lewis Hamilton here.
So which should I try my luck with that?
Oh, good luck.
Lewis, one question. Okay, that was actually very collaborative. I also saw Novak Djokovic just be on the grid a couple of seconds ago. If I can only find him.
Today's Grand Prix.
I got Novak here. Novak, one question quickly. Is that fine? Who are you rooting for today? You can be honest. We get Fernando. Fernando, is this emotional for you? Could it be your last home race here in Barcelona?
Go on, Nico, you can try and get a word with Fred there.
Fred, please, one question.
We actually had a lot of complaints about our KO Sports, which is Sky broadcast, but we'll get to that a little bit later. We'll move into qualifying now. The usual suspects were out in Q1 and Q2, and then the usual suspects were in Q3. Arvid Lindblad did not make it to Q3. I know that much, and apparently he was a bit cranky about that. When we did get to Q3 though, we were treated to the Charles Leclerc special and he crashed into the wall. Did anyone say full found in kitchen? Someone who was not found in the kitchen was Nico Hülkenberg, who has made it into Q3 for the first time this year. The only other surprise coming from this qualifying was, of course, George Russell being on pole. I do believe that Kimi Antonelli had a little bit of a whinge about something. Someone was getting in his way. He also then whinged a little bit later, but again, we'll get to that soon. Whinge central for Kimi Antonelli as his teammate came back. As I said before, our KO Sports was being our BFF, big fat fuck, was not playing. So we missed the first 22 episodes. 22 episodes? Am I dumb? The first 22 laps of the fucking race because the stupid KO wasn't fucking playing. Anyway, we managed to get it sorted. But throughout all of this, we were kind of seeing that Numero Uno, Isaac Hadjar, had a really bumhole start. And it was kind of a la Max in Monaco, where his car just sort of wasn't going as fast as it should have been. So he got bumped down to near the houses. And because of in all of this, I was very confused as to why Isaac Hadjar, who had started in the tops 10, was suddenly now down in the fucking trenches with the houses. But that then brought about some clarification for me that yes, his car did not start. The story of the day was how many pit stops can I fit into one race? The goal was to do 80 pit stops. Ferrari decided to put Lewis Hamilton on the 3-stop strategy. It paid dividends for them. He was pitting very, very early, which then caused George Russell to have to pit early and caught his pit mechanics, whatever the fuck they're called, or they were on a vape break and they were hotboxing it up in the pit lane. This, of course, left Kimi Antonelli at risk of Norris nutting while Lando Norris hunted him down from 4th place. In between the whole pitting chaos, everyone was kind of moving around and moving and shaking and going places. There was this moment in there where Kimi Antonelli pump faked at George. It was, oh, I'm gonna get you. Alpine were doing Alpine things and deciding to swap the cars while they were in P13 and P12. It did work out for them in the end, but it's like the subplot of girls, what are we doing here? Something that I know will be discussed about as to why it was not highlighted more during the broadcast was the Liam Lawson and Nico Hülkenberg fight. Now, these two were kind of scrapping it out a little bit. At this point, Pierre Gasly had joined them as well. And at one point, Liam Lawson drove off the track, shot up a bit of gravel, and it hit the kill switch on Nico Hülkenberg's car, and he was out. Now, at what point did the broadcast show this? Not at all. Full Cannon Kitchen. We found out through a series of Instagram posts, or at least I did, that, yep, that was where Nico Hülkenberg went. At some point, again, Valtteri Bottas went out, and he was also then joined by Fernando Alonso, who added to the list of retirees. Out in his home race. Not very nice, I'll tell you that for free. Not very surprising either. That brought out the virtual safety car, which then gave Lewis Hamilton his 3rd free pit stop and put him undeniably in the lead. Now, throughout all of this, I want to say from when he started sort of leading the race, or whenever he was in the lead, it was, oh my God, Lewis Hamilton's going to win. There's still 40 laps to go. And then it'd kind of come around again and then, oh, Lewis Hamilton is going to win. I've heard this 4 times before. We're still 30 odd laps away from the end. What do you mean? Just cool your fucking jets a little bit, all right? It didn't sort of really set in until right at the end that he was going to win, but again, we'll come to that in a second. Another thing that wasn't discussed was what the fuck was going on with Alex Albon, who was just having a pretty bumhole day all around. He went out at one point and didn't really hear why, and then mysteriously pulled an Aston Martin and returned with 8 laps down from everyone. It was 8 laps, then 12 laps, then 15 laps. He's just out having a go. Now, come to find out, there was something wrong with his car, some piece of FIA fucking thing on the top that was not working properly. So I went into the pits and got it fixed, and we didn't find out for a very long time. Once again, we're hearing about Lewis Hamilton winning, and it's going to be his 6th or 7th victory at Barcelona. He had 6 Now he's got 7. 'Twas the weekend of 6-7, if you may. Somehow Hadjar is down fighting Pierre Gasly again. Truly, the Alpine and Red Bull beef is one that will be discussed for generations. In the great year of 2026, Oracle Red Bull Racing is fighting Alpine. They are apparently sniffing around trying to get Fernando Alonso to come back. That's messy. At this point, Kimi Antonelli finally manages to get around George. He's been sniffing around his anus for the past 30 laps and finally gets around him. Toto Wolff phones up the nuclear weapon guys and says, all right, you can DNF George now. They said, DNF George? What about DNF Kimi? And then they followed Kimi Antonelli's car. And he kind of just rolls to a halt, and you can hear the engine noises as he's coming to an end, and it's sad, but IDGAF, honestly. I love Kimi Antonelli, I love it, but I love a title fight more. Give it to me now. And Charles Leclerc says, oh no, girl, you don't get to have anything fun. I want a DNF too. And his car also blows up, but not to the extent that it has to be completely stopped, but he does blow up something.
Tupac back. That's all these bitches screaming that Tupac back. All eyes on me. Better picture me rolling. Riding brand new rims, but them bitches are stolen. Stranded.
That leaves your podium as the Great British Empire, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Lewis Hamilton first, George Russell second, and fucking Lando Norris third. Would I have said that this was my dream podium? Nah. I probably would have said something else was my dream podium. Sometimes you've got to let them have a go, you know? And that is why I've chosen to wear lemons today, because Lewis Hamilton's helmet is yellow. And, when life gives you lemons, you go in the Ferrari car and have a terrible year and then win at Barcelona and have a kind of moment with your ex-husband where he asks you for a question before the national anthem. And you kind of ignore him, and then you're like, fuck, there's a camera, I really shouldn't ignore him. Yeah, Nico, hi. Fuck off. And then when you do win, years after your last win, he's the one that's interviewing you. So you get to sort of stare lovingly into his eyes as you discuss winning for the first time in the team after he retired right after winning his world championship, and you went on to win heaps more. So look, it was an emailable race, but there were some fun moments in there, That was the Barcelona Grand Prix. We are off to Oostenrijk next week to the Red Bull Ring. Famous last year for Kimi Antonelli taking out Max Verstappen. That was it. I think Lando Norris won. And I think there was some hairy racing between the McLarens, but I seriously doubt that's going to happen this year, because why would they? Anyway, that's all for this week. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us at Sports Report. Goodbye. I've got a live audience again, so sorry if I'm just not my usual self. Not live audience, get it right. Sorry if I'm not my usual self. I've got someone staring at fucking behind the camera at me, and I'm not used to it. You can't do that, you're meant to be professional. Get your notepad and write down, be professional. Why are those dead flowers still there? Camera woman, get rid of them. Now, this instant, they're eyesore. They're not, it doesn't matter, get rid of them. They're ruining my vibe. This is going to go in Sports Report Top 5 Diva moments. Another thing that sort of wasn't discussed a lot was James Vowles. No, what am I saying? And that is why I've chosen to wear lemons today, because Lewis Hamilton's helmet is red. Lewis Hamilton's helmet is yellow.